僕のロードだ Yeah まだ全然足りない新しいルールで時代を作って
Hello everybody, Infinite Shinjo here, and welcome back to another video. And today we are going to be looking at my anime list, and you're gonna tell me how much great taste I have, right? So in case you're not familiar with my anime list, it basically just has you add in anime that you've watched, and you can put them into different categories. Like you can group it by all, ones that you're currently watching, finished, you put on hold, dropped, or even plan to watch in the future. And then from there, you can show how many episodes you've watched out of the total amount, and you can even add tags to say, I like this show, but I wish there was more of this or less of this or whatever. And you can even give it a score. But for all of these, I am currently watching them, so I'm not going to give them a score yet. But for now, we are going to look at the ones that I have finished watching and see what kind of scores that I gave them. But first, a brief moment of silence for Hokago Teiboneshi that is probably never going to get brought back. It was kind of taken out because of the whole world going to crap, so it's on hold at the moment. I don't think there's new episodes. Why is BNA still up here? I don't often put anything under the dropped category. If there's something that I absolutely don't like, I just don't continue watching it. I don't remember if I have anything under the plan to watch category. I don't think I do. I do not. Okay, let's just get to the completed anime then. So as you can see here, my list of completed anime is here, and it's all sorted by alphabetical order. There's my scores, there are some tags I gave, but just to make things easier, let's sort it by my score, just to see what my top anime is and what my lowest anime is. But first, let's give a warm welcome to the lowest anime on the list, Domestic Nakanojo. Now don't get me wrong, it was a good show. Like I say here, it's got hints of good story, but the incest plot is just kind of unneeded. Like, okay, you could incorporate it, but like, it's essentially the main focus of it. And to be fair, I was half tempted to put it at 1, but my thought is, I kept on watching it week after week. If it would be something that I would literally turn off and never watch again, then I'd put it at 1. And sadly, the only Pokemon movie that's the lowest here is the Hoopa movie. It is a good movie, but with all the random legends around, especially the Mega Lattes and the Mega Rayquaza, it just felt like they were just saying, hey, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire exist, you should go play them. And Phantom World, it's a good plot, but to be quite honest, it's forgettable when you compare it to other KyoAni stuff. And how many people actually watch this? Komori-san Can't Decline. It's 12 episodes, but I think it's only like 4 or 5 minutes a piece. And this one. Actually I Am, I think it's called. Or, Actually I'm a Monster or something like that. It is so... I don't want to say bad, because I watched it anyway. It's got hints of good story. Like, the opening is good. It has the makings of ending up being a good show. But just like, the end of it is, well, the whole plot is, main dude finds out that the girl he likes is a vampire, but he promises, I won't tell anybody, but he's horrible at telling secrets. It comes down to it, and he's face to face with her father, and he says, you're not gonna tell anybody that she's a vampire, right? No, of course not. Oh, then that's okay then. Like, what? Like, at least have some magical powers that he can wipe his memory with or something. Which one is this? The Genesect movie. Yeah, I think the only real negative that I came with from that is like, where the heck did Genesect come from? And why is there a second Mewtwo that's a girl? I don't know. To be quite honest, and this is probably going to be more apparent when I go through, that the black and white anime was certainly divided for people. But let's just scroll on up. I'm not going to go through each one of them. Yeah, Best Wishes Season 2, or as I like to call it, the Vacation series. It's basically just filler until Kalos gets here. Yeah, I put both seasons of Bokuben at 6. Now, what I did, and I probably should have mentioned this before I go in, that what I did is decide if it will be an anime that I would go out of my way to say to somebody else, hey, you should watch this anime. Then I put it at least 7. That's at least good enough that I feel like people would like it. But that doesn't necessarily mean that 6 is bad. And Hanabado is really only here just because of the super heavy second half that doesn't need to be there. But like, going back to Pokemon, and I think we'll see it more because the Pokemon series is going to be further up. Yeah, sadly Arc 5 is the one that takes the blunt of everything. It's the lowest one here. It's just like, it is good at the start with especially everything in the different dimensions, but literally the world's at stake. But Yuya's trying to tell everybody, we should be friends. It's literally the end of the world and you're trying to tell people to be friends? And yeah, second season of Chunibyo, I mentioned that before on the channel. This is my proudest moment here. The 2-part black and white movies that one focuses on Reshiram, one focuses on Zekrom, I literally put the same review for both of them. Why do they get split into 2 movies? It just doesn't need to be. And like the Keldeo movie, it feels more like a Keldeo movie than Ash's, to be quite honest. Like, Ash and his company doesn't really even do much. But here we are, the border to 7. And starting off is Izoken and Hanako-kun. Those are still pretty good. And Gleipnir was fine. I just wish that it would have answered more questions. And yes, Kimono Michi is very good. And to be quite honest, I think I put Fire Force at 6 before, but Fire Force is good, especially now with the second season. It kind of reignited my love for Fire Force, pun intended. But let me see where I can find the Pokemon series at, because that is where things are going to get interesting. I actually forgot that I put Vrains this low. Vrains is the second lowest Yu-Gi-Oh! Here next to Arc 5. And it starts good, it just feels like it was pushing out of Season 3 a lot quicker than it needed to be. Like, I know people have already said, like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains is the shortest Yu-Gi-Oh! Series of all. And like, if they would have spent more time dedicated to Ai and his existential crisis, then it would have been a little bit better, but I still liked it. Okay, yeah, here is where it is. I was wanting to find this because I used this for the thumbnail. X, Y, and Z. And my words, good, but overhyped. And I still stand by that. I was actually thinking about recording different videos focusing on the different series of Pokemon, like having one be the first series in Johto, then Hoenn, Sinnoh, and so on. But I think I'm just gonna say it right here. With X, Y, and Z, and obviously you can tell that X, Y is a lot higher, but with X, Y, and Z, it's just like, okay, it's good by a technical standpoint, but like, Ash Greninja comes in, we still get no answers on it to this day, and it's been 7 years since the XY anime started. And moreover, with like, Ash didn't get a Mega Evolution in that series, and that's just kind of weird to me still. But then Ash Greninja comes in, Ash becomes an unstoppable force, and then the instant that people find out Ash and Alolan are going to be facing in the final round. Now, this isn't going to be everybody, but most people were thinking, oh, Ash has Ash Greninja, he's going to win the league. But then when Ash loses, everybody just rages. And it's just like, it's Pokemon. Did you literally think Ash was going to win the league? Now, to be fair, I think I thought that, but still, it's just like, I don't want to say toxic, because that doesn't sound accurate to it, but it's just like people were raging about Ash losing the league when it was kind of obvious that he wasn't going to win. But to be fair, he did win the Sun and Moon League, so maybe it isn't obvious. But more on that note, let me just clarify by saying that By all technical accounts, X and Y was a good series. Ash was more serious. Series was more plot heavy. But just because it's better than other series by a technical standpoint doesn't mean that I like it. If you've been on this channel anytime, then you know that I like a lot more comedy with my shows. So that's kind of why I didn't like XY. Plus, it seemed like Serena was just there to just fall over Ash, even though it didn't end up being that in the second half of the show, but still kind of weird. Now, the Best Wishes Season 2, the Team Plasma arc. I like the way they included it, but I still feel like it could have been done better. Like, if you were around back in the day and you saw the Japanese opening, they teased with Charizard coming back, but they did nothing with it. Like, I like how they did the Team Plasma arc, especially since that whole arc was basically to acknowledge Black 2 and White 2's existence. Because they had an episode dedicated to Sharon, an episode dedicated to that ranch that you can find Mareep. Ash battled Roxy, who was one of the gym leaders. I think Marlon was in that series, I can't remember. But this series is basically here just to acknowledge Black 2 and White 2. But I'll get more in detail when Black and White pops up. Okay, Black and White, or Best Wishes in the Japanese version. Technically, it's still a 7. I would say that if you want to watch it, then go ahead if you haven't. But funny thing about it is under my tags, I put that I unironically enjoy it, even if they dumb down Ash. Because it's just like, okay, what are the biggest criticisms that they bring up with Black and White? Ash loses to a level 5 Snivy. Okay, I'm not going to try to defend that. That was kind of stupid. The only argument that I can make is that Zekrom zapped away Pikachu's electric moves. But it still has Iron Tail and Quick Attack, so I don't know. Maybe Ash wasn't taking the battle seriously, but at that point that's just speculation. But like, Black and White as a whole, I feel like it's probably one of my more favorite series, which you can see because it beat out X, Y, and Z. Technically, even though they're still the same score. But I did like the Best Wishes series. I really liked Silent as a character. Iris was kind of iffy, and people always say, oh, Iris is just discount Misty. Okay, did anybody like Misty? She was basically just there just to be the female, right? Because back in the 90s, that's all that a character would be in an anime. You had the main boy, sometimes a second boy, and then you had the one that's just the token girl. At least in Black and White, they do try to develop Iris. And I remember saying this. I'm not going to remember it quote for quote, but I remember that I was hoping that they would go to Drayden and the Dragon Village and all that. They would find out that Iris is the gym leader, and Ash and Iris would battle, kind of on the similar way that Ash and Clement would battle later. But at the end of the day, my opinion isn't the only one to listen to, but just Black and White was coming out at the time that I was finishing up high school, so I do kind of have nostalgia for it in that sense. But like I said earlier, I really like comedy, so Black and White is right up my alley with that. So let's see where the rest of these shows stand. Yeah, we're still at 7. I didn't remember that I put this many anime at 7. I'm hoping to at least get to 8 to see. Okay, yeah, I'm not sure if this is gonna spin some heads, but the original Yu-Gi-Oh! And GX are both at 7. I feel like for a lot of people, they probably put Duel Monsters above GX, but like, I grew up with both of them, and I remember back when the first episode of the GX dub came out, I remember watching it downstairs. I think it came on around 5 o'clock because it was with, what was it called, Maguzi? I think that's what it was on Cartoon Network. And I remember seeing Crowler play Ancient Gear Golem, and now, 10 plus years later, I have an Ancient Gear deck. But let me just scroll through these. Oh, I completely missed this, that Pokemon, the original series, is here as well. That's kind of funny that I put Duel Monsters and Pokemon here. I think what I wanted to do is put them at a ranking that wouldn't show that I'm blinded by nostalgia. But at the same time with 7, it's a good spot. Now, I would say 8 and above are anime that are certified by me. Granted, this one's a special, but you know. Yeah, just like X, Y, and Z, Kimetsu no Yaiba is good, but it's a bit overhyped. Like I mentioned before, does anybody talk about it before episode 19? I don't know. That might be just me. I might be a hipster. I don't know. I'm trying to find XY. I don't remember where I put it at. Okay, I remember Generations. Oh yeah, and I remember I put all the different Tri series all at 8, and I just put there a nice homage to the original Digimon. I remember that. Oh yes, here's Sun and Moon, yes. Like I said right over here, the region feels so alive, and I like how they balance the serious and comedy, because like, you got stuff like Ash and Company playing baseball, with Scyther, who is literally named Strike in the Japanese version, being the umpire. That's just gold that's not going to be translated well to the dub. But then you have parts where Litton's little buddy Stoutland dies. Or I guess older buddy Stoutland dies. Spoiler, by the way. But like, there are a whole bunch of other little things like that, all culminating to Ash winning the league, Ash defeating Tapu Koko. As a Pokemon series as a whole, I feel like it's one of the better ones that you can watch without knowing anything else about Pokemon. Let's keep searching up here. We got all the different Digimon to go through. Oh yeah, that's the first season of Konosuba. Yes, I think it is. Yeah, a nice start to a show about idiots trying not to be stupid. I forgot that I put it like that. That's hilarious. Dark Side of Dimensions. I find it hilarious now that I'm looking at it, that I put the original at 7, but the movie at 8. Is the Pyramid of Light on here? I'll check later. I might have missed it. Okay, there's the Mega Evolution specials that I put at 8. Because it's basically just a way to showcase Mega Evolution. Plus, like, Alon feels like a better main character than Ash at times. Because Ash is just here to beat gym badges, where Alon doesn't really care, but he gets wrapped up in it anyway. Oh, here's X and Y. Yes, at 8th. Okay, now I put here nice change from the games, but I don't remember what I meant by that. I think I meant that for the most part with X and Y, the games, people didn't like them, which is kind of ironic because people like the anime, but the exact opposite is true for Black and White. People didn't like the anime but loved the games. But Serena's crush on Ash does get old. I still stand by that. But to be fair, most of the female protagonists do have a crush on Ash. Misty, I guess not really May or Dawn or maybe Iris, I don't know. I don't know, you could probably make a case for any of them. But let's see, oh yes, Devil is a part-timer, so good. And I think there's a second season of Zexal. And Shark's development is still good. I really like that. Especially the whole shock of it all. And here's the original Zexal. I still don't know why they cut it up into 2 parts like that. But just like Black and White, it had a rocky start because of being it. But I enjoyed the random filler. Like, on Hulu downstairs, we can watch different episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh! And they have Zexal on there. I watched the one where Yuma... Whoa, that was a close one. I watched the one where Yuma battled that guy that has all those big tanks or whatever. And that was like early on. But that was still fun. I like the random episodes. I remember watching the one with the tomatoes just a couple of months ago. That was really fun. But then when Kite arrived, it was really interesting. But let's skip past these and get over to 9 and 10 because I want to show off them. Here's Iruma-kun starting off 9. It's still one of the best anime to come out, in my opinion. And the Konosuba movie, really good. And I think I put all seasons of Academia on here, and I just changed the tag depending on what season it is. Kaguya-sama 1, it's really funny. Agretsuko, yes, absolutely. Especially season 2. Asobi Asabase, one of the better comedy anime. And here's another season of Academia. Season 2 of New Game. That, I think I put Season 1 at 8. And Laid Back Camp, Season 2 and 1 of Academia. One Punch Man at 9. I think I put this at 10 before, but I decided to change my mind. And A Silent Voice. I finally got around to watching this. I'm probably not going to make a video dedicated to it specifically, so consider this my video dedicated to it. And Nichijou Clannad. Oh yes, my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. It's so good, although I'm probably biased. Although speaking of biased, Diamond and Pearl is also at 9. So, to nobody's surprise, Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds is my best Yu-Gi-Oh! And Diamond and Pearl is my best Pokemon. Which makes sense because they both came out around the same time. Now, on to the 10s. Season 2 of Kaguya-sama. I don't know if that episode of Let's Talk Anime comes out where I talk about it yet, but if it has, I really like it regardless. Second season of Konosuba. I don't know what the consensus is, but I like second season more than the first season, just because they go ham with the expressions. And of course, 2011's Hunter x Hunter. It obviously, Anohana, that's another one of the ones that people always talk up. And Brotherhood, yeah, not surprising that it's here. Clannad, I don't know if that video came out where I talk about my top 30 anime. Actually, I think it's ready to be posted right now, so it probably is out. And the final thing is the Lugia movie. Now, of course, that's nostalgia for you. Nostalgia blinds you. Now, let me just check if the pyramid... Oh, here it is. At 7. I didn't see that. Huh. Oh yeah, I remember this now. The nostalgia, and I remember seeing it in the theaters. Because when they had it in the theaters, you were able to get one of the cards that they used in the movie. The new cards like the Shining Dragon, the 3 Sphinxes, Wadapon, all those new cards. I think I got Wadapon. But to sum up my anime list, the Lugia movie is at the top, and Domestic Girlfriend's at the bottom. Actually, if you want to go the extra mile, the Lugia movie is my best Pokemon movie. And the Hoopa movie is my least favorite Pokemon movie. Which, I think, I'm not sure, but I'm probably not going to be wrong. I'm pretty sure Lugia was in that movie as well. So, everything revolves around Lugia, top and bottom. But that is going to be the end of this video. If I remember, I'll link my anime list down in the comments, not in the comments, in the description, but only for this video, because I don't know how many people that watch this have a Mal account, and if they do, that's great. But I've given my thoughts on a couple of anime, especially X and Y and Black and White. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section, and if I can think of enough to say, I might make a follow-up just involving Black and White and XY, but I don't think I'm going to have enough to talk about. But make sure that if you enjoyed, hit that like button down below and subscribe if you haven't. I hope you enjoyed this because this is a different video that I didn't think I was going to record, but I will see you in the next episode. Momentai.